So today, got a little bit of a different format. I'm here with Kyle from Purdue MEP, and got a couple questions for him on how Purdue MEP in Indiana or your MEP program in your state can work with your company to make some improvements. So,
Great.
Kyle, first question for you. What are most stone companies leaving money on the table without realizing, and how can MEP help with that?
Yeah, Stone company's been around a long time. The industry's been around forever, and there's been some modernization. One thing I've seen in a few different locations is lack of standard work and processes. We have a lot of tribal knowledge and tribal troubleshooting, especially when it comes to maintenance and diagnosing things, and so that transfer of knowledge is huge from the older generation, especially, and modernizing it into to the younger workforce and making it in a form where they can approach it. Typically, like videos and very clear instructions that are there that aren't replacing someone, but that person maybe their knowledge is now written down, and someone is almost put it into today's world in a series of very clean work instructions and highlighting areas on a machine and what to do in a number of steps. So standard work is one opportunity definitely that I've seen.
Yeah, awesome. And I think that's something that we see with, the older generation retiring or nearing retirement, and so much knowledge on the verge of walking out the door.
Yes.
So that's super important. So if somebody were interested in working with MEP, what does an engagement look like? How should they be thinking about ROI? What are some of the costs involved? Can you talk me through that a little bit?
Yeah, so the Manufacturing Extension Partnership is a nationwide network, so every state has one. We've been fortunate that Purdue has been the sponsor in Indiana the last 21 years. We are statewide, and we work with all sorts of different industries and within manufacturing, from life sciences to heavy equipment. Companies large and small, from one-person shops to Fortune 500 companies. But we work. We're a nonprofit, but we're not for law. So pretty much all of our services have a fee. There are some exceptions, but we do have the opportunity for grants and incentives when those are out there, either through the state, through the federal government, through the Department of Defense, and so on. But when those are off the table, then we have a fee of $2,000 a day. And that is either live instructor, virtual, or in person, anywhere in the state, and for the vast majority of our courses. And so when I, as the business development team member, look at opportunities, we want to, as kind of that nonprofit, sort of that servant leader kind of mindset, we want to give back and look at projects that are going to be impactful to the company. It'd be great if you bought $100,000 worth of training. I have no expectations of that. It'd be really just as good if you had a $100,000 impact project in the way of new jobs, new investment, cost savings that came about directly or indirectly through the work that we did at MEP. And that may start as a training and then develop into a project to give some foundational knowledge of your team. Like, okay, let's at least understand a little bit of what we're talking about if it's brand new to them. We are not academics as far as PhDs and from a research lab. These are all people that have been 10, 20 plus years in industry and are now trying to give back and stay in that narrow field that they were in their private career, and do that on the behalf of the MEP, and hopefully the small and mid-sized companies in Indiana are the recipients of those fruits that they toiled in for years and years in industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a point of full disclosure, we at WF Myers have worked with Purdue MEP on a couple of projects over the years, and speaking personally, huge fan, great program. So if somebody is watching this and is in the state of Indiana, how do they find you? How do they learn more about the Purdue MEP?
Yeah, our site is mep.purdue.edu, and from there there's a list of trainings, and then our active public workshop calendar. You can reach out to us via phone or email. So I cover, if you're looking at the state as a quadrant, I cover the third quadrant, or the central southwest corner of the state, but we have folks, again, statewide, that'd be happy to help meet with you just on a discovery call, no obligation. Listen what you have going and see if there's a fit that if we can offer it, and if not, maybe somebody that we know of. So again, we're here to help advance manufacturing and those adjacent industries, logistics, engineering as well, into into being competitive globally. So that's the name of the game for us. We're here to help.
Okay, Kyle, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks,
today.
Alex.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. And thank you for watching. Appreciate you taking the time. If this is something that you find valuable, please take a minute and subscribe to my channel. Appreciate you watching. I'll catch you next time.